If you are not closing at the level you expect of yourself, not closing out a deal that you want, or your deals are stalling out, or you're getting ghosted by your prospects, I guarantee you, you are missing one, if not more, of the 8 things you must uncover in the discovery phase. Let me go ahead and show you exactly what these 8 things are. So the framework I'm going to show you is what I call the powerful discovery framework. Don't worry about the applications here, because that's for a different video, but I'm going to break down exactly what each of these things stand for, because if you can get all 8 of these at a deep level, you will definitely close the opportunity, or at least have a very good chance to. So first off, let's understand exactly at the core what really a great discovery is. When you break it down as simple as possible, ultimately, at the core of discovery, you're able to uncover whatever their current state is. Are they in pain? Is there status quo? Are they stagnant? Are they growing? Where are they at? And ultimately, where do they want to go? What's their desired state? This could be from their desires, their goals, problems they want to solve, initiatives, or whatever. And ultimately, the bigger the gap right here, which is the opportunity cost and cost of inaction, the greater this is for all the right buying influences, the faster and more likely a deal will close. And ultimately, the way you're able to uncover this gap here and make it as big as possible is through a really powerful discovery, which we're going to cover in just a little bit. Now, what's also important to understand here is when I talk about discovery, what's core to understand is understand the beliefs framework. And a lot of times I see a lot of discovery calls are very, very surface level. It's like, hey, how many users? What are you currently using? How many employees? How much are you spending? What's your budget? Yeah, you might need some of those things, but they're not actually going to drive human behavior to take action, especially in a complex opportunity. And what you want to understand is this: human behavior is shifted based on their beliefs. This does not matter if it's SMB or enterprise. At the end of the day, you're still selling to human beings. And I'll tell you right now, if you're selling someone who worked for a Fortune 50 company, a C-level exec, there's nothing in their DNA that says they had something different inside of them that makes them decide different ways. There's nothing like that. But at the core of it, human beings make decisions based off the beliefs that they have. And when you think about this, beliefs lead to then thought and then ultimately to action. So if you want someone to take action, you must get them to believe in things that actually get them to take action. So let me break down a little more in more detail exactly what I mean here. So here, this is what I call the faith triangle. Something I learned from a great mentor a long time ago. So at each corner, there's different things. There's, on this corner, there's faith and belief, and it can be low or high. On the right side, it is hard work or effort, and the top is success. If you have low faith or belief, right? If you have low faith or belief, then you're probably not going to put the work in. And if you're not going to put the work in, you're not going to have success. But if you have really high faith, high belief in whatever it's going to be, then you're actually going to take action, put forth the effort, and ultimately you will eventually have success. So the higher the belief, the more the effort, the more the success. The lower the belief, the lower the effort, the less likely you'll have success. So for example here, if you believe eating keto will help you lose weight, if you have a high belief that eating keto will help you lose weight, you're probably going to eat keto. You're probably going to really take action. You're going to do it, and then ultimately you're going to have success, and you'll lose the weight you're looking to lose. If you believe meditation will give you enlightenment, if you have high belief in that, then you'll put forth the effort and you'll meditate, and then ultimately you'll feel more enlightened. All right. If you believe a piece of software will help you stay organized, if you have high belief in that, then you actually use the software and you'll have success. And on the flip side, if you do not believe keto will help you lose weight, you're not going to eat keto. If you do not believe meditation will help lead to enlightenment, you're not going to meditate. If you don't believe software is going to help you stay organized, you're not going to buy it. That's important to understand. All right. So let's keep on going here. Now, also to key to understand. So this is some internal stuff I train my my higher level clients. But what's important to understand, the frameworks I'm going to go over next, it's not linear. So meaning it's not like it's like a checkbox. Like I got this, I got this, I got this. It's understanding that this is a conversation and it's not going to be linear. All right. That's just how life is. So you understand that. But if you can make sure in the process you're able to gather all of them, whether it's one call, two calls, multi-calls, etc., your chances of success will go up. And if you can establish these powerful beliefs for each buying influence, so not just one person, but every major buying influence inside an opportunity, especially the larger you go, you're setting yourself up to have an amazing demo, presentation, or next step to be able to at least show and prove and earn their business. Okay. Now, if you are missing any of these following beliefs, your sales cycle will slow down or stall. You will lose power. That's just a reality. Every single deal I've lost is because I simply did not do a good job with this framework. That's what it breaks down to. All right. So got to own mistakes. Now, I also want you to think about this as well. You want to think about each of these beliefs I'm going to go through with you as a scale. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, can you get a buyer's belief to be at a level 10 for each component? And it's really about depth for every buying influence. So it's not like, hey, again, it's not like check mark, I got the P, the O, the W, the E, the R. That's not how you want to think. You want to think, how can I get myself to level 10 for every single component? The deeper, the more depth you have, the more entrenched they'll be into the belief, and the more likely they are going to be to take action. So let me give you an example here. So P stands for pain. So example one for pain, and most people probably say, oh yeah, I get that, find the pain, for sure. But let me give you an example here. Let's just say, for example, if you sell customer support ticketing software, sometimes what people will get is they talk to the prospect says, hey, yeah, we don't have any type of software for customer tickets, like support tickets come through, so it's hard to keep track of support tickets. The average rep is like, yep, cool, check, got it, got that pain, feeling good. Yeah, there's pain, but how much pain? Do they really understand how much depth there is? So, for example, when you understand this, and you start diving deeper using a framework I called RIM, understanding the relevance, impact, and motive, you start uncovering deeper things, which requires deeper follow-up questions. For example, here, we don't have customer support ticketing software, so it's hard to keep track of support tickets. So saying above, which leads to losing 5 customers per month. And since each customer is worth $500, monthly recurring revenue, that's $30,000 monthly recurring revenue, or annual recurring revenue for the year, which ultimately impacts the sales team's compensation, which hurts their confidence and drives up turnover, which costs our company even more. And my team wastes 3 hours a week going back and forth between Google Sheets trying to track support tickets, in which they could use those 3 hours to support customers. Now think about this. Most prospects are not just going to tell you this example or to this depth. They might tell you the first level, but they won't get to this level of depth. And that's where you as a professional is getting yourself to, this is a level 10 pain right here. Because ultimately, that's the one that's going to take action. That's when you can charge more. That's the one that's actually going to say, yes, I have a problem. Let's move forward. Or if you meet the lower level decision maker, they'll say, you're absolutely right. This cost is way too much from direct and indirect costs. Let me go ahead and make sure to get the other parties involved, because clearly there's a major impact. All right, cool. And again, you can only get to that depth through deep questions. So let's go through the actual powerful framework now, because when you can uncover these beliefs at a level 10 depth for each one, you'll see by being able to get these, you'll be able to really move the deal forward and just navigate it faster to close. So let's go and break down. So I already mentioned one, P, the pain. That's pretty simple. So understanding P, pain. What's their big problem that they have, or problems? Easy to understand. A lot of people already understand that. That makes sense. Cool. Let's go to the next one. Oh, opportunity cost. So what's the opportunity cost if they don't take action? What's the opportunity cost if they allow the problem to continue? Or it could also be known as, what's the cost of inaction? So what's the cost of inaction? So for example, if the opportunity cost of maybe a software you sell is going to help a sales team generate an additional $1 million in revenue for the organization, now the cost of inaction is they won't be able to generate that $1 million. That could be a big impact to the team depending on obviously how big their quota is. All right. W, what are their wants and desires? So this goes beyond just solving a problem, but it could be, what's the desired outcome from solving the problem or problems? What are their big goals? What are their initiatives? And it's really understanding not just from that micro level, but also understanding from the macro level as well. This is very, very vital. And each decision maker will have different things that they want. So for example, if it's a relatively large organization, if you're talking to a low-level decision maker, a low-level decision maker may want just a problem solved, but ultimately the top decision maker, the economic buyer, which could be anybody, the CTO, whoever, they must see potentially a tie to initiative. So meaning that problem solved, which leads to a greater initiative being achieved as well. So it's really important to understand. And again, you're not going to know that unless you uncover it through your discovery. E, executive level influence. This is big. This is understanding who ultimately makes decisions, but also what's that process look like. So for example, if they were to leave that meeting with you, whoever you met with, whether it's a low level, mid level, or high level, like ultimately when they leave that meeting, what happens next? How they make decisions, how conversations, what's that look like? And if it's a really mature organization, they may have a process, but if it is a startup or a smaller business, they may not necessarily have a process. And depending on how large of an investment the opportunity is that you are selling into, potentially they may have never made a decision like that before. So you may need to help them uncover that and help them instill the beliefs that they can make decisions along the right people as well. R, resources. So this is a big difference. So some people go for, BANT, which, look for the budget, and the reality reality is, if when you're meeting with the right people, it shouldn't be about budget if your solution can provide a true ROI, decrease costs, and actually solve a real problem. Ultimately, if your solution can really deliver that level of value, you'll find if you meet with the right people, they may be able to access funds. This could be from other departments you're pulling funds from, or it could be from accessing other capital outside the company. It really depends on exactly what you're looking to do. They might need to take a business loan out. Who knows? But ultimately, you will not be able to get to that level of depth, to that level of, them wanting to access funds if you are not uncovering these things in the powerful framework. And if they're too low level, they definitely won't have access either. That's something else to think about. All right, F. So this is fear of failure. This is a big one. This is having doubt and uncertainty, believing they have doubt and uncertainty regarding their existing situation and or vendor. Meaning, when they look based on the questions you're asking, they're at a level 10 in their realization of, wow, what we are doing definitely does not work, and I have zero faith they can do it. Because if they do not have a level 10 in this type of fear of failure or doubt, what ends up happening is, let's just say, for example, if you're hopefully not just a price dropper, meaning whatever the competition's doing, whatever they're doing, you can be a cheaper price. Because ultimately, if that's what you're doing, they're not going to have this fear of failure. Once they get a price, quote, proposal from you, they're going to take that, go back to the vendor, and they're going to just go ahead and say, hey, can you do this? They'll say yes, and they'll stay with their current vendor. You don't want that to happen. So they must have fear of failure, that ultimately, if they do absolutely nothing, things will fail. Very, very important. Unequivocal trust. And this is trust across the board, from the solution you're offering, that could be a product or service, to your company, to your leadership, to even you. And they must have a level of trust, because ultimately you can have these other things, but they don't still trust you. Like, they might believe they have all these problems and issues. They know they need something better. They know they can make decisions. They know they can access more funds. And they know if they don't make a change that they ultimately will fall apart. They don't trust you, your company, your solution. They're going to go somewhere else to that they have unequivocal trust with. So it's important to understand that, of course. And so you do that through really powerful questions. And then the last thing is the L. I call this the little stuff. These are the specifications you actually need to actually put together pricing, a proposal, to actually provide a quote, to actually be able to implement it, give them a number that they must go access funds for. And this is actually what most people usually ask questions in discovery for, which for sure, yes, you need to know these things, but ultimately that L is not going to be what drives human behavior. And when you're able to uncover all these at level 10 depth, including the L, you'll be able to move the needle forward on the deal a lot faster. Okay, next I'm going to show you on screen here. As you can see, this is a very simple visual to kind of give you an idea on how this really should work. So, you can see up here, this is decision makers 1, 2, 3, 4, and X, which means you can have as many decision makers as possible and the opportunity, depending on obviously complexity of the deal, size of organization, etc. And ultimately that leads down to the powerful discovery framework. And meaning you want to, again, like I mentioned before, you want to be able to uncover all the powerful beliefs for every single decision maker in that opportunity. Really important. Okay. And only when you're able to do that, when you do that, then are you able to actually move the deal forward as well. Now, a couple of things as well. When you establish these level of beliefs at level 10, they help drive time and urgency as well. Okay, because ultimately, when they don't take action, it's going to lead to true tangible costs because of what you actually uncover as part of your process. Now, a couple of things I want to show you as well, which I think will be just key for you as part of your discovery, is understanding this. The 10-10-80 rule, all right? And which basically means 10% of the prospects you meet with will just never buy. So you can go through and do an incredible job in covering every single one of these beliefs at a level 10, but they're simply not going to buy. Like, they're just logically, emotionally just not bought in, they're just not going to buy. Okay, there's 10% they'll always buy. So you can go through their totally botched presentation or botched discovery, botched everything, but they're just going to buy anyway. They've already decided. Those are easy. This is why usually even the worst salesperson over time they usually even have at least 10% closing ratio, right? I'm sure you've seen that in the business you're in. And then there's the 80% that are in the middle. And this is like they're right in the middle right here. And these are the ones that can be really swayed based on how effective you are in the discovery phase, multi-threading your presentation and demo. And ultimately, there's obviously a big range here. But when you understand this, and that's why you'll see you can have two reps start at the exact same time. Depending on how effective they are in the sales process, they have a very similar territory. One might close at 10%, and the other might close at 50%. And ultimately, it's because they are just more effective in everything else. So when you understand that, your goal should be, if I can be as effective as possible in my discovery phase and get us 8% as high as possible, you ultimately will close a lot more deals. And the incredible thing is, when you focus on doing the powerful discovery process and you uncover all these beliefs and you are at level 10 for every single one, and you focus on not presenting during your discovery phase and you uncover all these things, you'll see now when you're able to cover all these components here, this makes your demo and your presentation so powerful when you can show them, hey, remember this pain you had earlier and how it's costing you X amount? Well, here's how we can solve it, and also help you achieve your big desires right here. So you can see now when you're actually, when you can uncover the level 10, it takes your whole sales process and makes it so much easier. So you're not guessing in your demo presentation. You're not just arbitrarily throwing features and benefits. You're actually very targeted and very specific in what you show, because now you only want to show things that you uncover as part of their belief system. And when you can show that alignment, you will see you will close a lot more deals, you will close bigger deals, and a lot faster as well. So there you have it, the powerful framework for discovery. I promise you, if you ensure you get to level 10 for these every single time, your chance of closing will automatically go up. You'll close a lot more, you'll close bigger deals, and a lot faster as well. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure, of course, smash the like button, drop a comment below. Let me know what was your favorite part of the video or your favorite takeaway that you had from the video. And of course, make sure to subscribe as well and keep watching for more videos down the road as well. See you soon.